Hey there everybody, this is Magnitude X from GamersBeverage and welcome to the first preview of the actual new DLC for Assassin's Creed Revelations. Now I know a lot of you guys have been a little bit on the fence as to whether or not to get this DLC, and maybe I can answer a few questions for you guys, show you what the maps are all about. I'm just going to be covering the new ones, so I'm just going to show you quickly, like I did with the previous DLC, where to actually get it. So if you do go onto the PlayStation Store, you can actually get it right from the front menu, but if you do not see it there, then you can just follow these quick little instructions leading you to game-based add-ons under Assassin's Creed Revelations. Now, I do believe that Assassin's Creed and Ubisoft essentially, heard everybody's boycott and heard the voices, and they are offering the DLC on a 3-day trial kind of version, or in a sense. So essentially, the first day that you start playing that Mediterranean Travelers map pack, it starts the clock, and then from 3 days from now it's going to shut it down, and if you want to keep playing it, you got to dish out that $10, which seems a little bit too much money if you ask me. Getting only 3 new maps for $10 and getting 3 old maps that actually do not differ in any sense. So I'm just running through the installation here very quickly. Some of the misconceptions: the DLC is actually not on the CD itself or the DVD or the Blu-ray, whatever console you are playing on. It is actually a full-fledged DLC, so it's about 750 megabytes. And here's the trial information, so you guys will just see that. And I read on a website that it's actually 3 days, so it doesn't actually tell you in this specific little window here. But let's get started. I had a little bit of trouble getting into a game with these maps, so I did get a tweet from a friend. I do believe it was Perfect in Between. He quickly just let me know, go under custom matches, extra content maps, and I just decided to go onto a private match and play a quick little training ground simulation, just doing whatever I want to do in the map, going through it nice and quickly, just kind of highlighting the main areas of the maps and kind of what is offered in them. And like I said, I'm not going to be going over Florence or San Donato or the other one, which is Siena, which is probably my favorite map also. But let's get started. We're going to start with Jerusalem, part of the DLC 2.0, so let's get into it. So starting off on Jerusalem here, we are just starting off in this nice little area here. As you'll notice, there's not too many rooftops on this map, so that is a giant plus for a player like myself. I absolutely hate the rooftops. I hate Super Pro, and when I see places that you cannot climb too many areas, especially this giant, I'm gonna call it a synagogue or maybe a mosque or whatever it is. I do apologize. Maybe you guys can let me know exactly what it is. But if we are in Jerusalem, it's conflicting religions and here and there, but I'm not gonna get into that. Essentially, that big building is not climbable in this map, so that is a big plus. And some of the buildings are only partially climbable, like this. This is as far as you can actually get onto this. It's gonna provide some interesting gameplay. This map actually does kind of remind me of Siena. You have those tents everywhere, lots of little nooks and crannies in between the tents with chase breakers, and a couple open areas when you can actually just run through. So if you look at this, to my left there's a nice little nook with some hay bales, and then to the right there's actually like an amphitheater style place with 3 chase breakers on either end. So it's gonna offer some interesting places to run around in, interesting places to break that chase, break that line of sight. The one thing I do notice, like this little cleft, which does resemble one that is available on Venice, it is actually not climbable. You cannot get up there. I was a little bit disappointed. I tried about for like a good 5 minutes trying to get up there. I did also note that there is no lifts in this actual map, so there's because it is such a low based map, not too many rooftops, they don't really actually have any lifts available in it. So for people that want to play on certain game modes where they don't want to worry about people climbing around everywhere, then this is probably the map for them. But as you will still note that you can still get those aerials in certain situations, much like this one. So I still get an aerial kill there, and I can still sneak up on some people. But you know what, I was just playing against some NPCs, so it's pretty easy. And like I said, you have the tents right here with chase breakers on either end and hay bales inside, and you can pretty much just get people off guard like this, flank them off, and then just take off. So that is the first map. Now let's get over to Dyers. So this one is essentially The name says it all. If you just cover up the R and the S, you get the dye, which is essentially clothing that you are changing color of. So this is essentially a very, very big map. If you look at it from the topmost views, which I'll show you guys in just a little bit, you're gonna note that it's very, very crowded in a sense. You know, there's not too many open areas. There's not too many areas where you will be safe from a roofer or an aerial kill. So for anybody that does hate people that are always climbing around, this is definitely not the map for you, at least, you know, in my opinion, from what I've seen on the map. And then you can note that there is this one little area which you are a little bit safe from any aerial kills or anything like that, but still lots of lifts everywhere. There is lots of chase breakers, and there are lots and lots of areas that you can climb on and run around in. So for anybody that likes to play team-based modes such as, you know, artifact assault or manhunt, basically the best place to flank people, to surprise people, and essentially to get that getaway and, you know, get those escape bonuses. So lots of areas to kind of run around on, lots of areas to lose people in, and I do kind of get the sense that this entire map kind of reminds me of Knight's Hospital. You know, the color scheme's a little bit the same, the walls look the same, and a lot of the placement of everything does look pretty similar. So it does look a little bit copy and pasted in a sense, but it is a new map. You know, there is plenty of areas that are still undiscovered, plenty of playstyles that will evolve to kind of, you know, keep this game going and to learn how to you know, master these maps. So the maps have only been out for, you know, just, you know, less than a day, not even. For the PlayStation Store, they just became available around 5 p.m. Eastern, and as you guys can see, this map actually does offer quite a few certain areas where you can actually flank your pursuers if you're, you know, if you're good enough, if you're lucky enough. So I am playing against some, you know, NPCs right here, so they don't really run away from you if you try to get up close to them, or if you make yourself too obvious, they don't really run away. But it does offer you some great situations where you can actually get people from hay bales, which you guys just saw right there, and you can pretty much see everybody from the rooftops from any location, unless they are, you know, secluded into those nooks and crannies of that map. So that's, you know, pretty much the gist of this map. So let's move on to the third and final new map, Imperial District. Now this was the one that a lot of people had said was the closest looking map to Constantinople and to the actual, you know, first person, or sorry, not the first person, but the single player. Getting into this map, I do kind of see it with the docks. You can actually see this entire area right here is just ripped right out of the single player. But as far as the color scheme, it doesn't look the same for some reason. The color and the hues are a little bit off, and it's a little bit, you know, distracting in a sense. There is a lot going on in the map. It almost seems like a cross between Galata and Forley. If you guys remember from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it does look really like, you know, pretty close in the same color scheme in a sense, and the layout as Forley. So now this is probably the second biggest map in the DLC. I don't really know how to gauge it properly. I would probably say, you know, compared to the maps that are available to us, as close as possible, maybe a, you know, from Assassin's Creed Brotherhood, it's more like Alhambra size, but, you know, definitely much bigger than Siena or San Donato. So you guys can kind of see it from there. And there's not too many areas actually that you can hide from any roofers. Once again, it's probably going to be a very roof friendly map, and, you know, people are going to take advantage of that, so they're going to be roofing you like crazy from every angle possible. There's very little areas where you can actually hide. You can do, you know, you can hide underneath some of these areas, as you guys can see right here. There's a couple hay bales, a couple, you know, blend groups right there. But we're going to be coming up on one of the areas right here where you actually are safe from any kind of roof attacks. So this is the one area, and it almost seems a little bit misplaced. It seems like this portion of the map was a little bit kind of neglected, because it looks like it's just missing something when you walk into that corner. And I can just see it now that a lot of the manhunt teams are going to be camping out in that certain area, trying to, you know, lure people in there. But until later, guys, I am Magnitudex. Hopefully you guys like this quick little preview of the new maps. And if you guys are still on the fence, try out the trial. Test it out for 3 days or so, and then if you guys don't like it, you don't have to purchase it. Just delete it from your hard drive. Until later, I'm Magnitude X, and stay thirsty.